My name is Vihara Singh, and in this video I will be discussing the question set 44 of DBMS question sets day 9. Would be the PDF of question set 44. The principal of Ranabima School in Kandy intends to create a software to enter information of teachers and students in that school. You are entrusted with the task of creating this software. Your team is tasked with developing the database of this software. Database development work is shared between you and your team. Um, you are tasked with storing the student and teacher information, create the tables needed to store subjects that teachers teach and subjects that students learn. Use the instructions below creating. So this paragraph simply means about a school called Ranabima, which is in Kandy, and the principal of that school has decided to use a software to store information of teachers and students in that school, and I'm entrusted with creating that software, and my team is tasked with developing the database of that software, and also we have to create tables to store teacher and student information, and also to store subjects that teachers teach and subjects that students learn. And they say to use the below instructions to create it. So let's see the first question. Create the database using the name of the school database as Ranavima SCHDB. Use DDL Query to create this database. DDL means data definition language. Um, in data definition language, there are four main commands: create, alter, drop, and truncate. Create means you can create tables. Alter means you can change the database. For example, we can add columns to our table. And drop means we can delete the respective database object. And truncate means we can empty the rows of the table. So in this case, we have used the DDL command create, and to write DDL queries, we have used the command line of MySQL. So as you can see, we are in the command line client interface of MySQL. Let's enter my password. Now we can create our new database. So this would be the relevant query for our first question. Create database if not exist the name of the database. Let's enter it. As you can see, we have successfully created it. Let's see whether we have created SQL. So let's see whether we have created our database successfully. As you can see, this would be our database, Ranabima SCHD. Let's move on to the second question. The principal has decided to include information of grade 9 students in the first phase of this software. Create a student table to store student information. Follow the instructions below to create the table. And also use DDL query to create this table. Once again, we have used the command line client in order to answer the second question as well. In this case, we need once again the command create. Before creating, let's select our database, use and name of our database, Ranabima SCHDB. So that means we have selected our table. That would be the relevant query for the second question. Create table if not exists student. The first column student ID in not null primary key auto input. And the second column first name Vacha 45 and it should be not null. Nextly, gender, parts are 10, not null. Contact number, parts are 11 and not null. And the last column, class, parts are 10, not null. And a semicolon to finish our query. Now let's enter our second query. As you can see, we have created our new table. Let's see in our HDSQL interface. This will be our database. Let's refresh it and see whether our student table is available. And as you can see, we have created our new table successfully. Let's see the third question. Create the teacher table. To store the teacher details, follow the instructions below when creating the table. Use DDL Query to create this table. Once again, we have to use data definition language query. That means we have to use the command create. Once again, let's go to our command line client interface. Firstly, let's select our database. Use name of our database, Birmingham CHDB, and a semicolon. So we have selected our database. We want to create our teacher table. So as you can see, create table if not exists teacher. The first column teacher ID in, it should be having the date type in, and it should be not null. It should be the primary key of the table, and it should automatically increment. The next column is first name. It's bars of 45. It should be not null, and rest of the column should be not null. The third column is last name. The data type is varchar. The length is 45. Once again, not null. Gender, varchar 10, not null. Contact number, varchar 11, not null. And lastly, email. The data type should be once again varchar, and the length is 45, and it should be not null. And semicolon to end our query. Let's enter our query, and let's see whether our teacher table is available in our database. Let's right click our database and click refresh, so we can refresh our database. Now let's see whether our teacher table is available in our Birmingham CHDB database. So as you can see, our new table is being created. And let's see the fourth question. So the fourth question, the principal has decided to include the main subjects that grade 9 students will learn in the first phase of this software. Create a subject table that we'll use to store data. Follow the instructions below to create this table. Use DDL Query to create this table. Once again, we have to use the command, DDL command, create, in order to create our subject table. So this would be our command line client interface, and let's firstly select our database, our name of our database in a semicolon. So as you can see, we have selected our database. Let's create our new table. So this would be our query relevant to the fourth question, the last question. Create the table if not text is subject, name of our table. First column is subject ID. It should be having the data type int. It should be not null, and it should be the primary key of the table, and it should automatically increment. The second column is subject name. The data type is varchar, and the length is 45, and it should be not null, and we have mentioned a semicolon to end our query. So let's execute our query. So as you can see, we have created our table successfully. Let's see whether our table is present as they have mentioned. Let's firstly refresh our table, our database. Um, we have refreshed our database. So as you can see, our subject table is available like they have mentioned. And also that would be the end of the discussion of question set 4. And thank you.